Okay, welcome everybody, all of our attendees. Happy Women's History Month. And so just to get started, thank you for joining us for our coffee chat. We're going to jump right into it so we don't take any of Courtney's time. I want to introduce to you Courtney Koukoulas. Did I pronounce it correctly? All right.
Spot on.
Thank you. Market leader in the U.S. Wealth Advisory at BlackRock. She supports our financial advisors here in the Midwest. Courtney's 8 years of combined industry experience, previously with John Hancock Investment Management, graduated from the College of the Holy Cross with a bachelor's degree in economics and holds the Certified Financial Planner designation based out of Boston. We are so happy to have you, and I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you so much.
All right. Sounds good. Perfect. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we can go ahead and get started. Thanks everyone for jumping on the call today, or if you're catching the video. I'm so excited to partner with Randy and the team to discuss women and specifically in wealth management to tie into this month being Women's History Month. I think it's an awesome way to cap off the month. It's a subject that's incredibly near and dear to my heart as one of the few women in the financial services industry. And let's face it, I think this conversation is always better and more impactful when we can speak woman to woman about some of the experiences and the challenges that we face. So we're going to keep it tight to not take up too much of your time. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. So BlackRock's purpose is to help more and more people experience well-being through wealth. And money continues to be the #1 stressor for both men and women. Today's objective is to empower women specifically with knowledge and action steps to help build your foundation for wealth. So women's assets and financial independence is growing. We're wielding more and more power today, and that's just going to continue on to the future. As women gain more financial responsibility, more knowledge is needed to make educated choices. Women have generally been underserved by the financial services industry, and the focus needs to be more around making women confident in their financial decisions. We've hit incredible milestones here in the US, and clearly women are on an incredible trajectory. Just looking at this past election, the 117th Congress will be 27% women, the highest percentage in US history. This is a considerable increase from recent trends and up from 23% in 2018. Women are also starting businesses 2 times the rate of men. The number of women-owned businesses increased 2.8% in 2016, which was double the rate of men-owned businesses. So I'm pulling out a few of these examples just to show how bright the future looks as women are building more and more wealth. To build off of that, as we continue to rise in power and impact, we're on our way to holding the majority of wealth. As of 2020, women already own 32% of the world's wealth and are adding $5 trillion to the wealth pool globally each year. By 2023, women are expected to hold $93 trillion. Between 80 to 90% of women will at some point in their lives be solely responsible for all household financial decisions. And women will go on to inherit the majority of $30 trillion in intergenerational wealth transfers over the next 2 decades. So, I mean, these stats are amazing, but it shows there's no doubt that we as women need the same tools and resources to help guide monetary decisions and plan for financial security. So what do women want? What are they looking for? So given these financial realities, it's not surprising that our research has shown that women have a different set of demands and interests. Women want to be secure financially. And currently, we feel less secure in our financial futures compared to men. Only 2 in 5 women rate their financial health positively. So that's 39% compared to 44% of men. Women also want to feel more confident about saving and investing for retirement. 51% of women say that money is the #1 stressor in life compared to work, health, family, and social stress. And 61% of women would rather talk about their own death than money. I found that quote quite startling. And women at the end of the day want to learn more about investing. We exhibit lower engagement and comfort with investing topics than men, and only 59% of women have investments versus 71% of men. There is therefore a challenge that we're facing, but as we know from the prior slide, women have certainly come a long way. Barriers are being broken and wealth is rising. Women want to learn, and that's great news because here at BlackRock, we're believing that knowledge is power. You don't need to be in finance to understand and invest your wealth. Through knowledge and the guiding hand of a financial professional like your team here, you can get invested to help achieve your goals. So the first step is building your financial foundation. And that's what we're going to cover for the rest of our time in going through these 5 steps. So each of us has a different story. Our wants and needs are deeply personal. That said, there are a few distinct commonalities women share that make our life journey unique and different from those of men. Women tend to see money as a means to an end. We use money to achieve personal goals, fulfill commitments, or for an issue that we care passionately about. Certain challenges and choices we make over our lifetime, whether that's career, family, caregiving, health, relationships, just to name a few, have a direct impact on finances. Be aware and keep your team updated as your situation might be changing. While everyone's path is certainly unique, there are some fundamental topics to consider when it comes to building that strong foundation. Women who prioritize wealth understand that investing helps them reach their goals, those that are both big and small. And it's important to make your financial strategy your priority. So when you need it, it's there for you. So step 1, getting organized. Collecting all investment statements, tax returns, insurance policies, financial accounts, estate and trust documents. Make it your business to understand your personal and family finances. It's what you don't know or aren't aware of that can come back to hurt you. So think of who handles the finances at home. Get involved if it's not you. Talk to your partner about finances and how they manage their money. Talk to your parents about their financial situation and long-term plans like retirement. I know in my family, we get together once a year for a formal conversation with my parents, my siblings, and spouses, and we talk about retirement goals, where my parents are in their retirement goals, and estate planning updates to ensure that we're all on the same page and aware of how to execute and the different roles we would play in our specific family plan. It's also important to teach others if you're the responsible party. An easy way to start this is finding a filing system that works for you, whether it's tabs, file folders, binders, or I guess now all on the computer in the electronic version. Step 2 is about your goals. A secure financial plan starts with identifying what you want for the future. What are your goals? When it comes to goal setting, it's important to visualize what your goals look and feel like. This is an important step to define and marry your wealth with your goals and value system. Each goal needs to be specific, have a dollar amount and a date, because if we don't make them specific, it's not a goal, it's just a wish. We also need to think about priorities. What is a need versus a want? Setting SMART, SMART goals, is a popular approach. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Think about the last time you had to go grocery shopping, manage a project at work, or decide on a new neighborhood to move into. Just thinking about the problem can be stressful, but the second you write down the list of what you need, or the steps of how to get to point A to point B, or what to consider when making a decision, it becomes less scary and less daunting to start. Step 3 is knowing your numbers. This exercise will help you understand your baseline. In other words, what's the starting point and where are the gaps? By detailing out your net worth, cash flows, you can identify areas where you can spend less, save more, or even reduce debt. I love this line, hope is not a strategy. You have to know what you have and review it annually. So what is net worth? It's what you have minus what you owe, your assets minus liabilities. A liability can be credit card debt, mortgages, or student loans. Assets can range from bank accounts, insurance cash values, investments, maybe your home and jewelry. So calculating your net worth is a snapshot at a current time of what your financial life looks like. Next, look at your cash flow. It's the flow of money in and out during a period of time. It's your income and expenses. This is the base to build your budget off of. Start by thinking about your needs and wants. To start with living expenses. These are your needs, your basic bare bones. Then look at discretionary spending for things like travel or new furniture. These are things that you might not necessarily need, but you want them. These are your wants. And finally, think of a security plan. These are the long-term assets that are going to go on for a long time and eventually pay us back. So these are your long-term security. Now, the key is sticking to that budget. Certain apps are available, such as Mint, Good Budget, Acorn, all to help calculate your budget on a daily basis and hold you accountable at the end of the day. Step 4 is get invested. The first and most important thing you can do is just invest at all. As we mentioned before, 44% of women have investments, so this is a huge gap for us. Depending on your goals, consider, are you paying down expensive debt? Are you maximizing savings? Are you optimizing benefits from your employer and insurance? Stay engaged, stay invested, and create your strategy and stick with it no matter what. It's time in the market that's going to help you get to your goals. And finally, step 5, everyone has a unique life journey. Another important consideration that we have to take into consideration is that as women, it's most likely that we're living longer. And that means funding that longevity is a women's issue. And we need to seriously consider how to fund expenses during our post-retirement lives. This means greater attention and planning should be applied when considering maximizing benefits such as Social Security and managing costs. We have to adjust our plan for caregiving, whether that's parents, children, or others. Healthcare costs, which are most likely the most significant cost in retirement. Social Security is an important tool for us to learn how to optimize the income for ourselves. And certainly planning for life after divorce or loss. With divorce quoted at 50% and the fact that women are 4 times more likely than men to be widowed, outliving their husband by 14 plus years, it's likely that we will need to be able to manage our expenses alone at some point. And finally, estate planning to make sure you're passing on your wealth in the way that you find most impactful for the future. We've obviously only scratched the surface today on some of the unique positions that women are in today and the challenges that we face when it comes to our specific financial planning journey. Going back to the goal we set at the beginning, we wanted to empower women specifically with a very baseline knowledge and action steps to help build your foundation for wealth. Your advisors here at IHT Wealth Management are committed to addressing your unique needs and help you reach your goals. So please feel free to reach out to Randy with any questions on the information that we shared here today, and he'll relay those back to me and we'll get you whatever you need. So thank you so much for the time today. Thank you, Randy and Rebecca, for getting on the calendar. And thank you, Ricky, for joining us today. I very appreciate the time.
Thank you so much, Courtney. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ricky, for being here. Real quick, I just want to sort of end it. I think it's been very cool, this being the History Month, is that we're looking in the news recently. Sally Krawcheck of Charleston, South Carolina, actually just made big news with her Ellevest making over, I think she's brought assets under management over $1 billion. And then, of course, Jane Fraser, the new CEO of Citi, which is I think the first or one of the first women at that role. So phenomenal achievements that continue to happen. So I appreciate you being here. As promised, we're going to wrap it up in a short time period. So we'll look forward to talking to you about these things soon. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.